Hello everyone. Let's continue the activities of second chapter acid, bases and salt. Let's see what's given in activity 2.6. It's given take amount 2 ml of dilute NaOH in a test tube and add few drops of phenolphthalein solution. Now what is phenolphthalein? Phenolphthalein is a indicator, right? And what is its color? It is colorless. And when you add a phenolphthalein to a base, NaOH is a base, it's a basic solution. So what will happen? We know that, let's see here, if we have NaOH solution and then when we are adding phenolphthalein to this, what will happen? This solution will turn into pink color. If you remember, when phenolphthalein is added to a base, then the color of the phenolphthalein will change. It will turn into pink color, correct? Now, after that, what we have to do? Add dilute HCl to the above solution drop by drop. Now, to this solution, you have to add drops of HCl. Now, NaOH was a base, we know. And now we are adding HCl. Now, what is this HCl? This is acid. So, when you added acid to this, what will happen? Again, the solution will become colorless. The pink color will disappear. Why did the color of the phenolphthalein change after the addition of an acid? Why this happened so? Because here you see, earlier the solution was a basic solution. NaOH was a base, correct? Then you added acid to it. You added HCl to it. So what happened? When acid and base react with each other, you remember this kind of, this kind of reaction is known as a neutralization reaction. Correct? They neutralize each other's effect. So that's why here the color of the phenolphthalein disappeared. Then after that, add few drops of NaOH to the above mixture. Now they said again add a few drops of NaOH to it. So what do you think? What happened? Does the pink color of the phenolphthalein reappear? Yes. Once you add NaOH to this solution, the pink color will reappear again. So now, can you say why this reappeared? This pink color reappeared again? Again, the same reason, because of neutralization. Now here, see, NaOH was added, before it was HCl. Now to an acid you are adding NaOH again. So the reaction is neutralized. Is it clear? So if we see the equation in general, what happened is, you took a base, that is NaOH, then you added to it acid. Okay? Fine. What happened? We got NaCl, sodium chloride. That means we got a salt. Plus water is produced. Plus water. And if you remember, while learning the theory, we learned this general equation that when base and acid react with each other, this type of reaction is known as neutralization reaction. So here, the appearance and disappearance of pink color is because the neutralization reaction is taking place. Am I clear? Yes? Let's move to next activity, that is 2.7. What it says is, take a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker. Fine. Let's take a beaker and let's add copper oxide to it. So copper oxide is CuO. Right? And add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly while stirring. Then you add dilute hydrochloric acid, HCl. Note the color of the solution. What has happened to the color of copper oxide? Now let's see what will be the reaction. See, we have copper oxide plus we added HCl. Now if you see, this copper oxide is what? It is metal oxide. And it is reacting with the acid. Let's write the general equation that we have already learned. Now, metal oxide, when reacts with acid, we always get a salt here. Plus water is produced. Correct? So, what salt will be formed here? We will get here copper chloride plus water. Fine? This is what we are getting. Now, they are asking you about the color. The color of the copper oxide is black color. This is of black color. Fine? And when you get the product, it will turn into, the black color will turn into blue-green color. This will turn into blue-green color. Now, why there is a change in this color? How this black color changed into blue-green color? That is because the copper oxide, this dissolves. And the solution so formed is the copper 2 chloride. This is copper 2 chloride. The solution, the blue-green color of the solution is due to the formation of this copper 2 chloride. That's why the color changes from black to blue-green. Now here one more important thing we have learned, that see here, this general equation that we have learned is very similar to that of a neutralization reaction. There also the salt and water is formed. Here also salt and water is produced. So this happened only when the base and acid reacts with each other. Correct? So here what we learned is the metal oxide is behaving like a base here. This is similar to the neutralization reaction. So that means one acid is already present here. So this metal oxide is behaving as a base. So remember, the metal oxides are basic in nature. Remember this thing. Got it? Fine. Let's move to the next activity, that is 2.8. What it says is, take solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, etc. Okay, let's write the formula for glucose. C6H12O6. Alcohol is like, there is a series of alcohol. बहुत सारे alcohols हैं. तो उनमें से हम एक ले लेते हैं C2H5OH, इथाइल अल्कोहल. हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड तो अब तक हमें पता लग चुका है कि HCl and sulfuric acid is H2SO4. So these are the solutions we are going to take. Then what we have to take is fix 2 nails on a cork and place the cork in 100 ml beaker. Connect the nails to the 2 terminals of the 6-volt battery through a bulb and a switch as shown in a figure. Now pour some dilute HCl in the beaker and switch on the current. Repeat this with dilute sulfuric acid. What do you observe? And repeat the experiment separately with glucose and alcohol solutions. What do you observe? Observe now. Does the bulb glow in all cases? Chalo, theek hai. Let's see this. This is the apparatus setup. Try to understand the setup first. See here we got 2 nails, right? They are on rubber cork, inserted in a rubber cork. Then one end of this setup is in a beaker. Now one of the nails is connected to the battery here. So this is 6-volt battery. And then the next is the bulb, then switch, and the next terminal is to the second nail. ठीक है? और उसमें क्या डाल दिया हमने? डाइल्यूट HCl. अभी HCl के साथ पहले हम एक्सपेरिमेंट करेंगे. Then we will do it with sulfuric acid H2SO4. तो what do you observe? तो आप देखेंगे यहाँ पर कि when you added HCl here and जब आपने switch को on किया, what will happen to the bulb? The bulb will glow. Remember, the bulb will glow. And when you repeated the same experiment, that means HCl की जगह पे फिर आप क्या डालेंगे? Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Then you switch on the battery, है ना? Switch on करो, तो क्या होगा bulb को? Bulb will again glow. Got it? Okay. Then they told you to repeat the same experiment with glucose, C6H12O6, and also with the alcohol. तो हमने एक alcohol लिया था, ethyl alcohol. So what will happen? What you observe when you switch on, the bulb will not glow. In this case also, the bulb will not glow. ठीक है? ठीक है. उसके बाद देखो, in the end of this, they also told you to repeat the same activity using alkalis like sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide, etc. ठीक है. तो उसके बाद उन्होंने बोला है कि सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के साथ भी इसको रिपीट करने की कोशिश करो और कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के साथ भी इसको रिपीट करने की कोशिश करो, रिपीट करो. तो what you will observe in these two cases, in both the cases, the bulb will glow again. Clear? Now, why this happens so? कभी बल्ब जग रहा है, कभी नहीं जग रहा है. तो why this happens so? That is because you see these two are the acids, right? Okay, and these two are the bases. ये बेसिक है, सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड है ना. ये एसिड है, हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड. तो एसिड्स और जो बेसेस होते हैं, they conduct electricity. Remember, conducts electricity. जो acids और bases होते हैं, they both conduct electricity. Conducts electricity. जबकि ये दो हैं जो these alcohols and glucose, ये क्या है? ये neutral solutions है. Remember, these are neutral solutions, neither acidic nor base. Therefore, they do not conduct electricity. ठीक है, ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंडक्ट नहीं करते. अब रीजन बताओ, क्यों ये कंडक्ट करते हैं और क्यों ये कंडक्ट नहीं करते हैं? दैट इज बिकॉज जो एसिड्स हैं और जो बेसिस हैं, they produce cations and anions. ये डिसोसिएट, जब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास होती है इनके थ्रू, तो क्या होता है? इनके आयंस, दे प्रोड्यूस आयंस. ये आयंस प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. whereas these neutral solutions, they do not produce ions. ये आयंस प्रोड्यूस नहीं करते हैं. तो जब आयंस ही नहीं होंगे तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कैसे कंडक्ट होगी, है ना? मूवमेंट कैसे होगी करंट की? तो कैटायंस मीन्स वी नो द पॉजिटिव आयंस, एनायंस मीन्स दैट द नेगेटिव आयंस. चलो एक HCl का एग्जांपल लेते हैं. HCl को जब वो डिसोसिएट होगा तो इट विल फॉर्म H प्लस एंड Cl माइनस आयंस. तो H प्लस आयंस प्रोड्यूस हुए ना, कैटायंस. ठीक इसी तरह H2SO4 का एग्जांपल ले लो. यहाँ पर भी इट विल डिसोसिएट इनटू H प्लस आयंस and SO4 2 minus anions. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? अब उसके बाद अब बेस का भी देख लो. NaOH, it will dissociate into Na plus and OH minus anions. कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड का देख लो, it will also be Ca plus OH minus anions. तो देखो, एसिड और बेसिस के केस में what is happening? Ions are produced. Therefore, remember, acids and bases both conduct electricity because they produce ions after dissociation. Whereas alcohol and this glucose is a neutral solution and they do not conduct electricity because they do not produce any ions. Clear? 5? Okay. Let's move to next activity. यहाँ पर भी ऐसे ही, ये देखो, दिस इज द लैंग्वेज, बुकिश लैंग्वेज. एसिड कंटेन्स H प्लस आयंस and anions such as chlorine in HCl, NO3 minus in nitric acid. This is what is explained in the reader. Okay, next is 2.9 activity. What it says is, take about 1 gram solid NaCl in a clean and dry test tube as set up in the apparatus. Add some concentrated sulfuric acid to the test tube. What do you observe? Is there any gas coming out of the delivery tube? Test the gas evolved successively with the dry and wet blue litmus paper. Blue. We have to take only blue litmus paper. In which case does the litmus paper changes the color? On the basis of the above activity, what do you infer about the acidic behavior of dry HCl and HCl solution? Okay, let's first understand the apparatus setup. Here is your test tube. You added sodium chloride to it. Fine. This is what they said in the activity. You take NaCl in a clean test tube. Then what you have to add? You have to add concentrated H2SO4 to it drop by drop. डाल दिया. उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा is there any gas? तो बबल्स आएंगे, पता लग जाएगा कि गैस है. उस गैस को इस डिलीवरी ट्यूब से बाहर ले लो. अब ले लिया. Now check which gas is this? Is it of acidic behavior or is it behaving like a base? तो कैसे क्योंकि ये यहाँ से हमने एक लिटमस पेपर लिया, उन्होंने कहा कौन सा लेना था? ब्लू लिटमस पेपर लेनी है, 2. Both should be blue. But the difference will be one will be wet, another one will be dry. Okay. तो पहले हम ड्राई को जब इस ट्यूब के आगे लेके जाएंगे, when this gas will fall on this dry blue litmus paper, what you will observe that the color will not change. Color change नहीं होगा, blue का blue ही रहेगा. तो blue का blue ही कब रहता है? जब blue litmus का blue ही रहता है. When you know कि हमें पता लग जाएगा कि कुछ बेस है, क्योंकि बेस जो होता है वहाँ पे लिटमस टेस्ट ब्लू कलर का चेंज नहीं होता है. It remains as it is. Then bring the wet blue litmus paper near to the delivery tube. What will happen? The color will change. It will turn into red color. You can see here. So what does this shows when a blue litmus turns into red? So this shows that the acidic behavior of the gas. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? यही था एक्सपेरिमेंट. नाउ यहाँ पे उन्होंने पूछा ड्राई HCl वो कैसे बिहेव कर रही है गैस. जब ड्राई HCl होती है तो ड्राई HCl में द HCl गैस जो है is does not show the acidic behavior. It does not show the acidic behavior, whereas HCl solution word से पता लग रहा है कि wet है ना. तो solution में HCl गैस कैसे बिहेव कर रही है? It shows the acidic behavior. Okay, fine. Now आपकी बुक में एक अलग से नोट दिया है कि अगर आपका एटमॉस्फेयर ह्यूमिड है, मतलब अगर ह्यूमिडिटी है, जैसे रेनी सीजन में ह्यूमिडिटी हो जाती है या कोस्टल एरियाज में ह्यूमिडिटी होती है, आप अगर ऐसे इन्वायरमेंट में अगर आप एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हो तो प्रॉपर एकदम ऑब्जर्वेशंस को नोट करने के लिए ये जो डिलीवरी ट्यूब है वो जो गैस निकल रही है उस गैस को डिलीवरी ट्यूब में से इसके थ्रू पास ऑन करो, जिसे कहते हैं गार्ड ट्यूब. अब गार्ड ट्यूब के अंदर क्या है? कैल्शियम क्लोराइड. अभी कैल्शियम क्लोराइड क्या करेगा? क्योंकि ह्यूमिडिटी है तो गैस जैसे डिलीवरी ट्यूब से निकलेगी वो ऑब्जर्व कर लेगी ह्यूमिडिटी, है ना. तो उसमें पानी आ जाएगा पहले से ही, तो वो ड्राई और वेट के साथ प्रॉपरली आपको रिजल्ट्स नहीं दे पाएगा. तो ये गार्ड ट्यूब के अंदर से जैसे ही गैस निकल के जाएगी तो उसके अंदर जितना भी एक्सेसिव मॉइस्चर होगा, ये जो गार्ड ट्यूब है इट विल absorb the whole water from the gas. Thus you can record the observations properly. Okay, done? Okay, let's do the next activity, that is 2.10. Take 10 ml water in a beaker, add few drops of concentrated H2SO4. Now concentrate, till now we were dealing with dilute, मतलब dilute था वो, पानी में एसिड मिला के हमने उसका कंसंट्रेशन कम किया था. तो देखो इस तरह का ये सिंबल बना होता है कंसंट्रेटेड एसिड बॉटल्स के ऊपर, क्योंकि बहुत डेंजरस होता है. यू शुड हैंडल इट वेरी केयरफुली एंड swirl the beaker slowly. Touch the base of the beaker. Is there any change in the temperature? As I told you, हमने शुरू में पढ़ा था कि जो डाइल्यूशन प्रोसेस होता है, डाइल्यूशन प्रोसेस किसे कहते हैं? डाइल्यूशन प्रोसेस का मतलब होता है व्हेन यू ऐड एसिड or base to water. Remember, I told you that water should not be added to acid and base. Acid and base should be added to water drop by drop, slowly and slowly. Why? Because this reaction is highly exothermic. बहुत heat evolve होती है इस reaction में during the dilution process. तो हमेशा एसिड और बेस, जब भी एसिड को अगर डाइल्यूट कर रहे हो तो एसिड को ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप वाटर में ऐड करो. अगर बेस को डाइल्यूट कर रहे हो तो बेस को ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप वाटर में ऐड करो. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे जैसे ही आप ये वाटर लिया आपने, इसमें आपने क्या डाला, कंसनट्रेटेड H2SO4, स्लोली ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप उसको हिलाते रहो. देन ट्राई टू टच द बीकर. तो बीकर को जैसे ही नीचे से टच करोगे क्या होगा, द टेम्परेचर विल इंक्रीज. टेम्परेचर आपको फील होगा कि वो थोड़ा गर्म हो गया है बीकर. ठीक है. तो इज दिस एन एक्सोथर्मिक और एंडोथर्मिक? ऑब्वियसली जब एग्जिट होता है, हीट एग्जिट हो रही है, आप दे नहीं रहे, आप गर्म नहीं कर रहे हो, लेकिन फिर भी आपको हीट मिल रही है, तो दैट इज एक्सोथर्मिक प्रोसेस. ओके. नाउ नेक्स्ट लेट्स से रिपीट द अबव एक्टिविटी विद द सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड पेलेट्स. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे तो हमने वाटर में एसिड डाला था. अब क्या करो, बीकर में जो वाटर ले लो उसमें अब क्या डालोगे, सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड. अब ये एक बेस है तो डालोगे, बेस डालोगे वाटर में धीरे धीरे ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप. तो देन टच एंड फील, ट्राई टू फील, देन अगेन द टेम्परेचर विल इंक्रीज. टेम्परेचर फिर से इंक्रीज हो जाएगा, बीकर गर्म हो जाएगा, इट विल बिकम हॉट. तो दैट मीन्स दैट एसिड एंड बेस जब डाइल्यूशन प्रोसेस होता है तो both are exothermic reactions. Fine. I hope you got all the activities which we discussed today from 2.6 to 2.10. Then if you still have any doubt, do write in the comment box. And the rest of the activities we will do in the next video. Thank you and bye.